Hi. So today we're reading the next Parashat Shavua, which is called Bamidbar, and it's found in Numbers, chapters 1 through 4, verse 20. We will not read all of it, but we'll try and see how much we can read. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני, באוכל מועד, באחד לחודש השני, בשנה השנית לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור. שאו את ראש כל עדת בני ישראל למשפחותם, לבית אבותם, במספר שמות כל זכר לגולגלותם. מבין 20 שנה ומעלה כל יוצאי צבא בישראל, תפקדו אותם, להציב אותם אתה ואהרון. ואיתכם יהיו איש איש למטה, איש ראש לבית אבותיו הוא. ואלה שמות האנשים אשר יעמדו איתכם, לראובן, אליצור בן שדאור, לשמעון שלומיאל בן צורי שדי, ליהודה נחשון בן עמינדב, ליששכר נתנאל בן צוער, לזבולון אליאב בן חלון, לבני יוסף לאפרים אלישמע בן עמיהוד, למנשה גמליאל בן פדחצור, לבנימין אבידן בן גדיוני, לדן אחיעזר בן עמישדי, לאשר פגיאל בן אחן, לגד אליסף בן דאואל, לנפתלי אחירה בן עינן, אלה קריאי העדה, נשיאי מטות אבותם, ראשי אלפי ישראל הם. ויקח משה ואחרון את האנשים האלה אשר נקבו בשמות, ואת כל העדה הקהילו באחד לחודש השני, ויתיילדו על משפחותם לבית אבותם במספר שמות מבין 20 שנה ומעלה לגולגלותם, כאשר ציווה אדוני אל משה, ויפקדם במדבר סיני. ויהיו בני ראובן בכור ישראל תולדותם למשפחותם לבית אבותם במספר שמות לגולגלותם, כל זכר מבין 20 שנה ומעלה כל יוצאי צבא. פקודיהם למטה ראובן 46,500. לבני שמעון תולדתם למשפחותם לבית אבותם, פקודיו במספר שמות לגולגלותם, כל זכר מבין 20 שנה ומעלה כל יוצא צבא. פקודיכם למטה שמעון 59,300. We could be reading further, but it seems that we will be reading on the same idea about every tribe. Livnei Gad, let's see, up to the end of this paragraph here was Petucha at the end. Livnei Yehuda, and then Livnei Yisachar, Livnei Zvulun, and so on. And so this is where we will stop. We'll go back to the beginning and start reading with the very first verse. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני באוכל מועד, pause, באחד לחודש השני בשנה השנית לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור. And told and said Adonai el Moshe to Moshe במדבר Sinai, in the wilderness of Sinai, באוכל מועד, in the tabernacle, in the tent of meetings, באחד, on the first, לחודש השני, of the second month, בשנה השנית, of the second year, לצאתם, after their going out. This מארץ מצרים, from the land of Egypt, more. Saying, or let's just see what it is going to be. Now, letzatam is one of my favorites. I just have to mention it. This is infinitive constructors, usually having like so much information that is in one word, is entailed in one word. Le'tzetam, there. Le'tzet and tzet is the actual infinitive constructors of the root that is yatsa. We know that most of the verbs with the first yud will lose the yud and get a tav at the end. But this way we know this is actually the root yatsa, after they're going out. What did he say to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai? Se'u et rosh kol adat bnei Israel lemishpachotam לבית אבותם. Again, אתנחתא here, the pause, במספר שמות כל זכר לגולגלותם. What is this se'u? And it's interesting that we do have a reviya on top, and we know that reviya usually has 3 points. One of them is a pause, giving a pause, another one showing the direct speech, and the third one being the main word carrying the meaning in the verse. And this seems to be the third idea, the third point that it's making here, because it's obviously already starting the direct speech. Se'u. So what is this se'u? Is an imperative. Talking to people, it's a plural imperative, masculine, but masculine, or it could be directed towards a mixed group. So this word, this imperative, obviously is coming from nasa. We know that nun, being the first letter of the root, can easily disappear. Usually would be leaving a dagesh. It does not here, but we can obviously see that this is coming from nasa. We know nasa is to lift, to carry, to bear, and many other similar meanings. But as soon as it comes in one phrase with a rosh, so rosh et rosh, we know this is about count, right? So se'u et rosh kol adat bnei Israel. This is what Moshe, that Adonai told Moshe in the wilderness. Count kol adat bnei Israel, the whole community, congregation of the bnei Israel, of the sons of Israel, lemishpachotam, according to their families, leveit avotam, according to the house of their father, according to the house, or from the house of their fathers, avot, right? We do not have just av here, avtam, of their fathers, b'mispar shemot, according to the number of the names, kol, b'mispar shemot, there we get a pause again, kol zachar legulglotam. So each male, legulglotam, we can say by their heads. Okay, by their heads. מבין 20 שנה ומעלה, from age, and this ben here is not a son, it's the age, from the age of 20 years and higher. כל יוצאי צבא בישראל, each one going out, צבא, to war, בישראל, in Israel, we can say going out to war, or able to go out to war. תפקדו אותם, count, or number. Yeah, we could also say number them. Tifkadu otam. Now, you all, right? Tifkadu by the form, we see this is still the plural form turned directed to the second person. You all, talking to Moshe at this point. Otam, them, letziv otam, according to the groups, according to their well, tzava is host, right? But we'll say groups. Or we could say hosts too. Ata ve'acharon, you and Aaron. Now, this makes sense because, as I just said, tifkedu is the second person plural masculine. So while in the first verse we do see that the Lord is speaking to Moshe, but he's saying, tifkedu, you shall count, number them, ata ve'acharon, you and Aaron. Ve'itchem, and with you all, with you, itchem being the second person masculine plural again, and you, Yiryu, and with you, itchem, Yiryu, there shall be ish, one man, lamate, from every tribe. Ish, rosh leveit avotav, a man who is the head to the house of his father. Leveit avotav. This who at the end, usually we would take up front at the beginning of the clause and make it a relative pronoun. Say who, that, which. ואלה שמות האנשים אשר יעמדו איתכם. This is again interesting. We're still in this one verse, in verse 5, but the first thought gives us the whole idea that is important or encompassing in it everything that is coming after that. So ve'ele shmot, and these are the names, ha'anashim, of the people, asher ya'amdu, who will stand, ya'amdu from amad, stand, itchem, with you all. Lir'uven, and there, from here we go into the numbering, right, or listing. Lir'uven elitzur ben shteur. So again, of Reuben, let's say, Reuben of Reuben, it should be Elitzur, son of Shdeur. Li Shimon, to Shimon, Simon or Shimon, Shlumiel ben Tzurishadai. It should be Shlumiel, son of Tzurishadai. Yehuda, to Yehuda. Or from, actually in this case, right, they needed to have a man, a person, from every tribe. So we're still talking about from Yehuda, Nachshon ben Aminadav. Leissachar, from Issachar, Netanael ben Tzuar. From Zevulun, Eliav ben Chalon. Livnei Yosef, from sons of Joseph, Ephraim, from Ephraim, Elishama, ben son of Amihud, Manasseh, and from Manasseh, Gamliel, son of Pedachur. Levinyamin, from Benjamin, Avidan, ben son of Gideoni. Ledan, Achiezer, ben Amishadai. To Dan, it's going to be Achiezer, son of Amishadai. Le Asher, Pagiel, ben Achran. Le Gad, Eliasaph, ben Deuel. Le Naphtali, Ahira, ben Enan, and here we stop. So it's all just giving the names, and the last one to Naphtali, or from Naphtali at this point, from Naphtali. It should be Ahira, who is the son of Enan, the son of Enan. Now, it's just names, but it's really interesting to look at those names and try to translate maybe some of them. Even if we're talking about Reuben, it's interesting because we have two words here. Reu, look, ben, son. This is how he called his firstborn. Then we have Elitzur, my God is a rock. Ben Shdeur. Shdeur is Shaddai and Or in one word, and this is the Almighty. Shaddai, the Almighty, is Or, is light. Shdeur. We know this equative verb is not needed in Hebrew. It's implied. It's thought of. So it's a lot. I cannot translate every one of them now. But it's really interesting to look at the names. Usually Shimon, if you look at this Shema, you see this root of Shema is in it. Shimon is a heard one. Then we have Tzuri Shaddai. Tzuri, my rock. Shaddai is Almighty, the Almighty, right? We have wonderful names here. We have, everybody knows, I guess, Netanael, so given by God or of God. And then we have Eliav, my God is Father. Let's look. They sound beautifully nice, like Ami Hud, right? My people, and Hod, we know the glory is glory. And Gamliel, Gamli is a reward. My reward is God. Beautiful name. But there are also other names like, let's look at one that we have seen here. Here, by the end of 15th verse, we have Ahira. Ahi, my brother, is Ra, is evil. And that was, Ahira is Ben Einan, is a son of the Izi one, right? Ahin, we know, is Iz, so he's the son of Izi. I think we cannot go too far from here. We don't have that much time, but let's just look at the last one. Ele Kri'ei Ha'eda Nisi'ei Matot Avotam Rashei Alfei Israel Hem. Again, we have this similar structure with Hem at the end, which kind of gives us, right after the Etnachta, gives us, what can I say, explanatory sense to the first part of this verse. So let's look at it. Ele, these are the Kri'ei, the chosen, the called upon, the called, Ha'eda, of the community, of the congregation. Nesi'ei matot avotam. Now, here the Kefkaton tells us this is, here we have a break, a pause, and then we get Nesi'ei, obviously, the form that is in the construct chain used in Smichut, right? So the princes, the heads, the head man of matot, of the tribes, but here we have a munach under it, and munach tells us it's not separating the words, but it's the other way around. It's uniting the words, so it necessarily brings us to the next word and says it's of the tribes of their fathers. And then we have the explanatory idea and hem at the end. And this hem, we will put it up front and say who are Roshei, the heads of Alfei, of the thousands of Israel. This is a good point where we can stop. It's a lot more interesting in this. There's a lot more interesting in this parasha, but this is where we stop, and I wish you all a wonderful Shabbat.